Sippers, welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with me, Shane Todd. The crack was good. We're feeling good here. We've got some mead, some tea. We're having a good time. We are sponsored, before we get in there, we're sponsored by Thompson's Tea. Look, these guys have been knocking about the local tea game for a long time. They've seen all these companies come and go, and they've continued to be Northern Ireland's number one selling tea. Is there a local tea game? Yes. And it's very
lucrative.
Violent.
Right.
It's complex. It's it can get, you can get into muddy waters with it. But of course there's local tea game.
But just like
Nambari.
They're like the big Nambari family.
Yeah.
Versus the Punjana family.
It's like the Sopranos.
Yeah.
But not really in any way.
They're just fucking tea bags at each other from across the road.
But the Nambari wouldn't go very far because the leaves aren't good. But you could honestly, and Thompson family won't mind me saying this, you could fuck a bag of Punjana a mile and a half, I would say, because it's just the best tea.
These guys, a window through.
You could. These guys have been making tea since the 1800s. All right, they know tea like the back of their hand. Me and Dan have visited their facility in East Belfast, which was great. You've got
a sticker on the bottom of your shoe. Sorry, but you do.
I know. It's the price of the shoes. I'm not taking it off. It just says the size, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a barcode.
Yeah.
I could get that app out and scan it.
You can, yeah. But
continue with your tea.
Let me see the bottom of your shoes then. Oh, you've been mugged.
What do you mean?
It's just a post-it. Last night we did the live podcast and I had a bit of confetti at the bottom of my shoe and it was on just as I had to walk on stage, and then a guy pointed it out to me that was doing sound, and then I held my shoe up to look at it, but he thought I was holding it up to mean take it off now, and he did it, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Where were you that you had confetti on your shoe?
At the Limelight doing the live podcast.
No, but was there confetti at the gig?
There was confetti at the gig before. Deona, I have to do these reads.
Sorry.
I have to do these reads. I have to, otherwise we're out in the streets.
Right, tea. There's
number
tea
one,
sponsor.
Northern Ireland's number one selling tea. Punjana. Best in the game. Belfast made. Keep drinking it. We appreciate them.
Is that what I'm drinking now?
That's what you're drinking now. We can talk about the debacle we have making this tea in a second. We are also sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped, look, I don't know what way you're taking care of your pubes. I don't know if you're, still using outdated methods. I don't know if you're running about, touting on your pubes to the paramilitaries to try and get them to kick them out. You don't need to intimidate your pubes out. What you need to do is go to manscaped.com. They have the best in men's below the belt grooming. They've got the Lawnmower 4.0. They've got, and yeah, we talked about it last week in the podcast, and I said I need to start getting high on my own supply, and I still haven't yet. You haven't
Manscaped?
Not in I need to. No, it's not. Here's how I describe it. It's a little bit like as a guy when you get a haircut and then it grows out a bit, and it's not that bad, but it's over your ears just a wee bit.
Right.
You still need to take care of it.
There was a girl on Big Brother.
I know we've just had International Women's Day, but shut up. Use the code Tea With Me for 20% off and free shipping. They've got it all. So they've been sponsoring us for a long time. We appreciate it. The code is in the bio, the description. Last thing I got to plug, patreon.com, where we do the live stream episodes, we do bonus episodes and all that good stuff. And then also, I'm going to be in America. Dan, is that this week?
Oh my fucking God.
Is that this week?
You need a quadruple adapter for all these plugs.
What?
Fuck me.
Boston, 22nd of March. Washington, 23rd. And then New York, 24th. And 2 shows on the 26th. Yeah?
23rd is today.
The 23rd is today. Yesterday I was in Boston. Come to that. Today I'm in Washington, D.C. Tomorrow I'm in New York. And then 2 shows in Woodlawn, which is in the Bronx. We'll put the description in there. My guest today is Deona Hegarty. Now, this is a weird subject because you were Diona Doherty, and at a gig we did recently, you got introduced as Diona Doherty.
Yeah.
Are you happy with either?
if I'm earning money, it's Doherty. If I'm ringing a Chinese, it's Hegarty.
Right.
Or the doctors or something.
Yeah.
I never, do you know what it was? Whenever I got married, I asked my agent at the time, should I change my work name as well to Hegarty? And then she was all, nah, sounds shit.
Yeah?
She was all just alliteration with the D and the D. And also just IMDb had Doherty, and it was a lot of shit. I couldn't be arsed.
You got the D and the D on IMDb?
On the IMDb. My whole family's DD.
Right.
We're like the Kardashians of Derry.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
So, like, all the Kardashians are like Khloe, Kourtney, Kendall. I knew more of them than I thought there. Kim, who is in your family?
Deona, Darn, Deona, Doherty from Derry.
So, by the way, is your dad... Well, no, that's an
He's
L.
Damien.
But is your dad just D?
Everybody in Derry is called D.
What?
Everyone in Derry is called D Doherty. Literally everybody in Derry is called D. If you're not called
D-E-E?
D-E-E.
Yeah.
So, like, genuinely, if you speak to somebody else from Derry and they're all, what's your dad, D Doherty, and everyone's like, fucking which one? There's 1,000 of them.
Right.
D Doherty's in Derry.
No.
There was about 6 in my brother's year in school.
Right. Now, were you tempted when your agent, we talk about changing your name, were you tempted to, as a stage name, change your first name?
No.
You happy with that?
I like my first name.
You like Deona?
Because my mum and dad made it up. So my dad's called D, my mum's called Deona, and they put them together and got Deona.
Oh no, my dad's called Dennis, my mum's called Susan. I would have been Doosan.
Yeah.
Or Senis.
Senis.
Doosan's better.
Well,
I look like I could be from Poland and called Doosan.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's also because you have quite an androgynous look about you.
Pardon?
Is that alright for me to say?
I mean, I'm offended by that, but also I don't know what the word means.
Androgynous? Do you know you're not sure if you're a girl or a boy? No. I don't mean for that to be offensive.
Oh,
do you know?
in a fun way.
Do you know, like,
You're saying if you saw me on the brow of a hill from a distance, you'd have to really think about it.
Who's on the brow of the hill? You or I?
What?
Did you say if I saw you from a hill?
Yeah, on the brow of a hill.
You're on the hill, or am I on the hill? Because that affects my vision.
Right, I'm on the brow of the hill.
So I'd know you're a boy. There was a wee boy in my school, in my primary school.
Don't change the subject. Why have you described me as androgynous and said it's hard to tell if I'm a boy or a girl?
No. I don't think it's hard to tell. Do you know what androgynous means? No. It's like you're not particularly really masculine, nor are you very feminine. You're just in the middle.
What are you trying to say right now? Because what about
low.
me isn't masculine? I'm wearing a pink t-shirt. I got my legs crossed.
We gigged recently at an International Women's Day event, and
everybody on the
lineup, like all of the events throughout the day, was a woman. Everybody in the audience was a woman. The fucking host was a woman, and you were the entertainment.
I still, that was a weird one. Because I was booked to do stand up at it. I knew it was for International Women's Day, but I thought it was like there was loads of comedians on, and I was just one. I thought maybe I'm the token guy.
Yeah.
But it turns out, no,
you were just the guy.
They think women's comedy in Northern Ireland, they go, get Doosan.
Yeah, get Doosan in. She's great.
Here, let's talk about that gig. I've never felt more comfortable on stage.
You loved it.
Than with 300 middle-aged women. It was just fab.
Yeah.
I loved every minute.
And also, you told them it was fab quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, girls, we're just having a great day, aren't we?
Yeah, I really had to check the vibe on it, because I was like, do they like the cheek? Because I was leaning into so much, like, okay, I'm a guy here, it's all women, this is lovely, this is beautiful. I very nearly started the set by saying, girls, don't worry, I've tucked it all in between my legs for this set. But then I kind of felt like I knew where the line was. But
I think as soon as you got on stage, they went, there's quite an androgynous looking being. We're cool with this guy, gal, whatever's happening.
Androgynous. I don't even think you're saying it right, and that's annoying me more.
I'm not sure if it's androgynous or androgynous. Depends of where you're from, I think. It's my accent.
Yeah.
It's making me say the hard G. Aye.
I mean, I don't know if because I think I am quite masculine. I think because I'm so camp, that comes full circle and I'm masculine. Like I think I could wank a guy off and not feel anything. Multiple guys.
Well, wanking a guy off is the most masculine thing you could do. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because, like, everything involved there is to do with a man.
And it's pulling, pushing. It's like manual labour as well.
There was a wee boy in my primary class, and I now know he was a wee boy, and he went to one of them. I used to ask him all the time, and this sounds horrible. I used to always go over to him and go, "What are you?" Because he'd curly hair and he'd these wee glasses, and I even now I'm confused. I didn't know if he was a girl or a boy.
You should be posthumously cancelled.
Like, if I knew what posthumously meant.
See, you used a big word and now I'm what, Mike? What? She's not dead. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Posthumously, if you died, I thought it meant like back in belatedly. You should be belatedly cancelled.
You have to be dead to be posthumously.
Posthumously, that's what Heath Ledger got an Oscar posthumously.
But he didn't get cancelled.
What? Well, in a way, he did.
Yeah, well,
he's cancelled from life.
Delete.
He's cancelled from the movies.
See ya. And I used to always go for this wee boy and be like, "What are you actually?" Like, and he thought I was joking, so he would be all, "Leave me alone," and I'd be like, "Just tell me what you are."
This is a horrific tale of bullying.
Horrific.
He said, "Just leave me alone."
But I didn't know what he. Now thinking back, Waynes are dicks, aren't they? Like, kids are real awful bastards, me included, probably. Because I just used to, I just wanted to know what he was. Because if you just fucking answer the question,
but why does he have to be? It's like me. Why do I have to be in a box? There's a box and it says androgynous on it, and I'm in there with that kid,
just crying.
I don't know.
He probably told me every day I'm a boy, and I was like,
see, I used to look more like a boy because I used to have a shaved head up until I was like 15, 16, all just the two all over.
Why?
And I used to just wear football. Why?
Was that? But sure, whenever we were that age, was it not all like blonde tips and all run? Like,
no, that's.
And like, do you remember like the flick, the front of your hair?
Yeah.
I had that.
Well, I used to have, George Worse, I used to have the flick, but also the shaved head. Yeah.
A Lone Ranger flick?
Yeah.
A wee rogue flick? And then the rest of you was bald?
Yeah.
That's brutal.
And at one point, I was like, God, when I was like probably about 12, 13, I thought, why do more girls not like fancy me or anything? So I thought, I know, let me dye this just the fringe bit peroxide blonde and just have my weird shaped, also have a weird shaped head, and that combo did not work.
I mean, how did that not work? You
that
were
was
trying to wank off fellas.
The frosted. No, I'm saying I would posthumously do that. The weird frosted tip look, that was in hindsight one of the looks that at the time guys thought was, myself included, thought was the best, but that was, looking back on it, the shittest look. And what it was is you would have like a lot of a fringe combed over, spike the middle and back of your hair.
Yes.
And then you had a bits coming down like the back. That was the shittest look.
Disgusting.
It was so bad. And I used to have like a gel that was coloured. It was like a red. So you'd put a bit of red, or you might do like a mohawk bit in the middle. That was such a bad
I got
look.
a perm when I was 12, right? Like a full fucking Irish dancing head looking perm, right?
Right.
And
What age? 16?
12.
12.
I was 12. Like, who's letting their kids get a perm at 12?
Yeah.
and it was the most potent shit as well. Like, it's not now the way you go, like, it was like my head was stinging like fuck, and it was like I was in the hairdresser for about 3 days trying to get it done. And I went into school all biz. I lived out in the country, so over the summer I didn't see anybody, so I was like, I'm gonna go back to school with my perm and be like so cool.
Yeah.
Right. And I went into my school. My ma dropped me off, drove the 40 minutes back to where we lived, and I came into school with my perm and a wee hairband on. I went up to the like reception and I was like, can you let me know which class to go to? Because you get like a new form class when you go in. And she was like, what are you talking about? You don't start till next week. They were in doing admin shit. I was in there in my uniform with my perm, just crying in the foyer.
The kid with the perm would want to come in a week early.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the early bird catches the worm. You know, the perm. Oh, you live 40 minutes away from school?
Yeah.
Was there no schools closer? Or you just, there was a specific...
It was the best school. It was a grammar school.
Right.
It's the school Dairy Girls is set about.
Oh, okay.
It's the grammar school, so...
I lived potentially a 0.4 mile drive from my school, and every single day got a lift.
Oh.
Isn't that shit? Like...
That is absolute privilege.
Yeah.
Like, disgusting.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you walk? Kids love walking to school because you can go out and have like a wee sneaky fag or something.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna do that.
No.
No, I don't know. I would have hated a long journey to school.
Aye, it was brutal, but then I could do my homework in the car.
Right.
And also, it's how I got smarter, because my dad would ask me questions the whole way. He'd make me like doing maths and sums.
Sounds like the shittest drive. 40 minutes of your dad, like fucking
making me spell words.
Your dad, like an episode of Countdown.
And also, my brother still is 2 years older than me. He's always going to be until he's posthumously fucking dead. He's 2 years old.
He'll still be 2 years older than you when he's dead.
Yeah. And we both used to sit in the back seat of the car. Obviously, it'd be weird if we were driving.
You both sat with your dad on his knee.
And my dad used to ask us sums and to ask us, like, get us to spell shit.
Why does your dad have no chill?
Like, no chill.
He's just been in school all day.
Yeah, there and back. But I was smarter than my brother, who was 2 years older than me.
We've established.
Yeah.
He's 2 years older than you.
Yeah. So my dad would ask me, and he'd be all, Deona, shut up. Like, Deona, like he'd be asking my brother, he'd be like, what, 7 times 5 plus whatever? He would do like three sums. I said plus whatever. You can't add that up, Shane. You're sitting trying to do the sum. There was no way.
Oh, yeah.
And
7
I
times
would
5
like
is 35.
35. I would jump on and answer it, and he'd have to let her tell me to shut up and give my brother a chance, because he'd get really upset. He'd be like, she's answering all of mine. And then he'd be like, she always gets the easy ones. And I'd be like, no, you're just fucking thick as champ.
Give me any sum.
6 times 4 plus 5 times 2.
34.
Yeah, well done. That was quick.
No worries.
Give me a sum.
46 times 98.
625.
No, you just made up a number.
Google it.
What? Do what? You want me to glue it?
Google it.
What?
Do you know how I got really good at maths?
By the way, are you right?
No.
All right.
Imagine I was. That would be so freaky.
I failed my maths GCSE 3 times, which is 2 plus 1. And
how did they let you do it 3 times?
because I failed it in school and then went to tech. And then in tech, after I'd already enrolled and started the course, they were like, shit, you needed a maths GCSE. We shouldn't have let you in. You needed a maths GCSE to do this. And I went, well, I don't have it. Like, I'm an idiot. And they went, will you resit it this year through the tech? And I went, yeah. And then I failed it because I had done no work since school. Like, I had not developed.
Added anything up since then?
And then the next year they were like, right, will you at least say you'll try the exam again? I said, yeah. When I did it in school, remember there was, you do 2 maths exams for the GCSE in school, 2, 1 plus 1. And the one you bring the calculator and one you don't.
Yes.
To bring the calculator, I brought a Smarties calculator that we had got.
You wouldn't bring like a scientific calculator, you know?
Yeah,
like a
it was
proper?
an orange Smartie. Like the calculator was like a giant Smartie with just 1 to 9 on it, nothing else. So I'm like,
it didn't even have. Had 1 to 9 on it.
It had 1 to 9, but it didn't have like pi, you know. So I was just doing 3.16.
No, 3.14.
Fuck, that's why I didn't get the exam. What do your mum and dad think of, like, you know, you being on TV and like success and stand up and all that kind of thing?
They love it. My ma is a pure mouthpiece. Like, she loves being out going. Have you seen? She just tells everyone, like, have you seen something? And they're like, no. And she's like, well, my daughter's on it. And they're like, well, we haven't seen it. She's like, but my daughter's on it. And they're like, well, no. My mum, like, was an actor.
Oh, right. Okay. So Mum did amateur dramatic.
Mine did Amdram. She used to come down to Belfast and do plays as, like, in her late teens. And she used to snog Jamie Nesbitt. Exclusive.
So did my mum.
We had the
Imagine
same
our
ma.
mums had a full fight.
Imagine we had the same ma. Double life.
Wow. Where would you have done plays? Like
in the Opera House.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because she used to go and do Martin Lynch plays.
Okay.
For like GBL. It wasn't been GBL at the time, but she's done a play for Martin Lynch, and she did a play one summer, and the part that she played was called D, which is my dad's name.
What did she say about Nesbitt snogging? Like, was he
very wet? Wet and taste like champagne. Because he was always on it.
I can picture that.
I think they must have been doing shows together.
Right.
But I remember growing up and telling people in school that my ma had a full relationship, which I was an awful liar. I was like, my ma was like, he was nearly my dad. Like, I think I expanded on it massively throughout the span of being in school.
My dad used to snog May McFedrich.
Really? No. How?
Oh yes, he did.
How?
Like this here. No, yeah.
So what I used to be like, see him on TV and be like, he could have been my dad.
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. I know, and I think that too. I think that
doesn't work again.
Nah. Yeah. Why did your mum not? Why did your mum not? Why did your mum stop?
Got knocked up.
Ah.
No, I don't know. She was probably shit.
Imagine she shows you footage back and she's so bad. You know, like School Around the Corner acting, like when kids would come on and do like a monologue.
Yeah.
And Mummy did take us for chips.
Yeah.
That would get me rolling so many things.
What does your folks think about you doing what you do?
They love it. They like it. Very supportive. But like, will get annoyed if I don't remind them of things that I'm on. Even if it's like, you know, if I'm on Q Radio to promote a gig at
they want to hear it
5 to 7 in the morning, you're like, why didn't you tell us? I was like, I didn't even know until like 10 minutes, you know.
Do they, because you talk about your dad quite a lot, and
Yes.
does your dad like that? Does he buzz off that?
Loves it.
Does he love it?
He'll be like, here, don't be flipping. He'll be like, don't be telling that story from 1992 where I fucking dropped a watermelon in Tenerife. You're like, well, I'd forgotten that story. He's like, well, I've got notes. I've got notes. They love it. Like,
my man and dad came to watch my second ever stand-up gig.
oh, that's brave.
They loved it. And I remember afterwards my dad going, you could afford to be dirtier, you know? Like, give them the shock factor. Lean into that. And I was all, like, my dad gave me, I wanted to be a lawyer at one point whenever I was a teenager. Only because I'd watched Legally Blonde and I'd all A's in my A-levels and all A stars in my GCSEs, and like everyone was like, you need to do medicine or law, and I was like, but like I'll not do medicine, but in law can I wear pencil skirt every day? And like I just wanted to be in a courtroom with like a wee dog.
Lag inside courts, putting down a joyrider, you with a fucking Rottweiler.
I demand a recount. I'm not. What the fuck am I talking about? With
the mayor? You're confused. You wanted to be the mayor?
That's why I didn't become a lawyer.
I didn't know, like, A stars and all that. Like, I didn't know you. I would put you on like my level of smart. Like, I am relatively smart, but I thought you were also like kind of just a wee bit smart, but not like very smart.
No, I'm very smart. Not now. Well, at the potential, you lose it when you stop learning.
Yeah.
But I had.
Sorry, can I say, are you saying you've made a conscious decision to just stop learning?
To stop learning.
Get in the car with your dad. He's like, if I had 6 apples, you're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Also, why if you're driving, why are you in the back? But
so he talked me out of being a lawyer and talked me into being an actor, which is a brave move for a parent. Why would you talk someone into getting into the arts? Because it's so fucking up in its arse. Yeah. But he was like, no, you don't want to be a lawyer. You want to be an actor. You want to be a lawyer because you think it'll be like acting.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I thought I'd be like Legally Blonde, and he was talking me into being an actor. He's like, that's what you should be doing. That's what you want to do. So then I went and did a degree in drama, which was absolutely fucking pointless.
You did a degree. See, that's one thing where I'm like, can you actually like teach that? Like, I'd say you do learn some valuable stuff, but
I say you can teach people how to be an actor in a drama school in a proper setting. Joey, like break them down, make them cry, make them fucking hate their. That's what they do in drama schools. They're really
I would never have gone
awful.
back after I cried.
People like break down, fucking piss themselves. I don't know if they're pissing themselves, but they're like having an awful time. Like do you know, like you watch Big Brother, people go in and they go through this like journey and they come out the other end and you're like, that seems like a real experience. Like they've come out the other end a different person. I think that's what happened in drama school. Right. What happened when I did a drama degree, which is completely different.
Where did you do it?
Queen's. Right. Shite. It was shite. It was shite. I remember on the first day we had a tutor called Alison Campbell, not the modelling agent Alison Campbell, but a different girl. Right. And she literally was like, this is not RADA, which is like a well-known drama school.
By the way, not what you want to hear on the first day.
First day in a lecture. And I was like, she was like, most of you aren't going to be actors or anything, so you can get that out of your head now. And I was all, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to be the fucking mayor of Derry, I don't care.
And then day 2, we had to be sandbags. Sandbags. So we had to stand like this in that fucking theatre, right? Pretending to be a bag of sand. And a wee grain of sand was escaping out of the bag every second, and you had to become smaller and smaller and smaller as slow as possible.
I could not take that serious. I get kicked out of the course.
It was shite. It was absolute shite. I remember going, how will this make me cry on demand?
Imagine though if like you didn't take that seriously and then Netflix were doing like a 600 million Belfast filmed production called The Sandbag Lady and you didn't get it.
Like I could have done it.
But I did.
But you know,
I'd be a great
when
cellmate.
I was in first year at Queen's, I was in Sketchy,
Yeah.
but like a non-speaking part, and like I was with Kieran Bartlett.
I had a speaking part, and I wish I didn't.
Did you?
Yeah,
no.
it was so bad.
Looking back,
Like my
no.
acting in it was particularly bad.
What were you doing in it? I don't remember you in it.
I played someone was trying to proposition my granny in it or something, and it was filmed down Sea Park down
Right.
here, near like literally half a mile away from here. And I remember there
Do you
being
only do things that's in a half a mile radius from where you live?
a 1 mile radius. Every mile you go outside of that radius, we add 20k to
Yeah,
the fee. But I just remember there being people I vaguely knew being on the beach that day because it was during the summer and feeling so self-conscious. Like if you do that stuff at drama school, like be a sandbag and all that, I get that you break down
Yeah.
shame or like a feeling of embarrassment.
You're happy to be vulnerable in front of people then.
Right, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I just felt really weird about it.
With Sketchy though, I was like a non-speaking part, and it was part of Dermot Core was, I don't know, me and Kieran were on top of a bus at one point, and I think one of us got thrown off the bus, but it was like a shit dummy.
I just won the Champions League.
Yes, we were parading around.
Oh, so if anyone doesn't know, Sketchy was a BBC Northern Ireland sketch show. This was what, about 11?
12 years ago maybe?
11, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And Kieran, in that top of the bus thing, Kieran, he's told the story in the podcast before, but if anyone missed it, he went into audition for it, and there was like the list of all the characters, and it was Gentleman Jack, there was like a female role maybe you played, and then it was Fat Alan, and Kieran looked at the producers and said, what role do you want me to read for? He was so fucked off.
Oh.
But yeah, I think he falls off the top of the bus.
And then I think he gets, it's either me or him gets thrown down the escalator then in another sketch.
Right.
I can't remember what the idea behind it was, but people were just getting chucked about the place. But it was there was one dummy fit for everybody. Like,
Right.
do you know, they would dress it up in your clothes. And so the same dummy was me and the same dummy was Kieran.
What's the issue?
Like, I'm neither of us are androgynous. So, but yeah, so that was my first like professional job, right? And I remember purposely, right? I was filming on a day that I wasn't even in uni. Like I was off that day. So the next day when I went into uni, I purposely went in late so that I could be all, sorry, I was just off filming a thing there for the BBC. I'm really sorry about being late.
Yeah.
I was filming I'm just on a sketch show at the BBC.
Yeah.
So it's like I was like 19 being all, sorry. I don't know if I said
big North Face coat.
yeah, my BBC lanyard. Don't even need one. I made it myself.
Yeah.
I just made sure to tell everybody I was in this all. So I know users are like learning how to act. I was just all doing it professionally there. So
Send to the lecture. You're like, if you need to take a break or anything, you want me to jump
I'll
in.
step in.
I am. How much at the time did you feel like I definitely did that doing like a low budget BBC Northern Ireland sketch show going out at fucking 10:35 on a Wednesday night, that was the pinnacle.
Oh.
You were like, it doesn't get better than this.
No.
This is it. People are going to see this.
Yeah.
It's going to lead to all this stuff.
Like you have such ideas of grandeur when you're so
Yeah.
young and you get your first job. I remember when I was like living in Derry before I moved to Belfast as a teenager, thinking that you always think you're going to get spotted, don't you? Like
Yeah.
you're going to be like drinking coffee somewhere and someone's going to go, we need you in Hollyoaks.
Yeah, because like that sort of stuff does happen probably in like LA and stuff, because everyone's an actor. So in coffee shops, you know, the waiter a producer will speak to the waiter and be like, do you act like you have a fucking great way about you?
Yeah.
But like sitting in fucking Nero and Botanic, no one's coming
Yeah.
up to you being like, listen, Game of Thrones reboot, new
Yeah.
series of Game of Thrones, you want to be in it?
Someone's going to come over to you and go, there's a sketch show being made for BBC and we need someone to be chucked off an escalator. You won't have
You've
any
got that
lines.
look.
Yeah. Are you in uni that day? That's as far as it goes. But I remember thinking, oh, I'm going to move to Belfast and like I'll just get spotted, because Belfast was this like big, bright, like this big thing. It was like Hollywood. I was like, this is like such a big deal. And then
Don't ever compare Belfast to Hollywood.
well, not this Hollywood.
Yeah.
The proper one. The other one. On the brow of the hill. the one in LA. Isn't it in LA?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
And I was convinced
What did you get in your geography, GCSE?
that's the one. I got an A star, but only because I can recount information. I have no idea. I have no idea where any countries are. I got a map put on my wall. I got one made out of wood. Right? It's nice. It's a feature in our living room and it's on the wall of the world so that I can learn. So far I've learned Australia, Madagascar.
What do you mean you've learnt Australia?
Where it is on the
Right,
map. I
yeah.
literally don't know where anywhere is. Malaysia is down near there, and the Philippines, they're all down this corner.
Yeah.
And then we're up, and I'm going to work my every week or so. I'm not going to overwhelm myself with the countries.
But
I'm
why
gonna-
do you need to learn it? Why? Like, do you think you're going to be in a situation where just you'll be walking at home after a gig one night to your car, and a guy will step out of an alleyway and go, point to the Cayman Islands
Where
right
is it?
now?
Yeah. Well, you just don't know when you might need that information.
Can I ask you your country and you tell me what continent it's in? Maybe
Absolutely not. I can tell you now. I'll get it wrong. You can try.
Bolivia.
Don't even know where that is. Don't know. I mean, I don't know name some continents. Asia. Bolivia would be in Europe. Is that?
No.
See, this is the thing that fails me is the geography.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know where anywhere is. I don't mind. I can get there.
You can get there.
I can get to places, but I don't know how.
You could
where
so
they are.
You know where Bolivia is, but
I'll
today
go.
you could get there. If we needed to do the podcast there, you'd be there.
I could book a flight and go there, but I wouldn't know what fucking continent I'm in. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No.
I used to get the 212, the bus from Belfast to Derry all the time because I was a student living in
And
Belfast.
then when you got to Belfast, were you like, what continent is it? Where is this?
But then whenever I got a car, I didn't know how to fucking drive to Derry. I've travelled that journey thousands of times and I don't know how to drive to Derry.
But you understand the signs.
I'll read them wrong.
Right.
Some of them say Londonderry, some of them say Derry. I don't know
Yeah.
where the fuck I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, geography is not my strong point. So I'm going to teach myself some countries. You just don't know when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Like right now,
Yeah, you need it.
I needed to know where Bolivia was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know where all the countries are? Sean, like my husband, like he knows where they all are. I think most people do, don't
But then it's weird to me that you're like memorizing this and learning this. You know?
See, I said earlier on, like I don't learn things anymore, but
It's
I do.
such a 1700s
thing to learn.
thing to be like, my husband could point anywhere on the map. Just blind. Just
Yeah, it's like his party trick. He can
Turkmenistan. Yeah. Right, he does it again.
because like every now and then I'd be like I should learn a new skill, and every now and then I like get like a keyboard out and be like I'm gonna learn a song, and like I teach myself a song on the keyboard, and then I forget it.
Yeah.
Like a week later, and I'll never go back to it, and then a couple months later, I'll be like I'll learn where some countries are. I just like to learn. Do you not have any like? Have you learned any new skills as an adult?
No.
Why?
I mean, why? You know, it's different. Like, I don't know. It's harder to learn things when you're an adult.
Oh, so much harder. Like I tried to teach myself the alphabet back to front.
I'll learn a new what?
I can't do it, but I
Do you want to both try and do it really quick? Just have one bash. Don't even think. Don't think.
right.
Right, ready?
Yeah. Z,
ZXWM.
X, Y, S, T, TS. Are you done? You only
Yeah,
have 4
yeah.
letters.
No, I only knew Z.
CBA. Yeah, it's really difficult. But I always thought, do you know what it must be? I mustn't be that interesting of a person. And I'd be like, if I could do that, that'd be impressive.
Yeah,
People would like that.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can't say the longest word in the dictionary.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Pneumologic silicovolcanic.
See, you're from Derry. I don't know whether you're just asking me how I am or
It's a
whether that's
lung
word.
condition.
Oh yeah,
If I'm inhaling too much ash from the coal mines.
yeah. It'd be so inconvenient to have that. I always have to say it.
Yeah.
You'd just be like, my lungs are fucked.
Well, you're also going, I've got pneumologic. Sorry. Scoliosis. You wouldn't fucking get it out, would
You're
you?
dead.
Yeah.
You're posthumously telling people.
It's like I'm assuming it's like some sort of fucking prehistoric illness. Like people wouldn't have that now.
Yeah. Do you... since you joined the panel of the Blame Game, because we're talking about BC Northern Ireland shows, it's one that's been around,
It's like 19 seasons it's done. I think it's
Yeah.
about 15 years.
when you joined that, is that something like people were saying to your mum and dad? I feel like that's when people would be going up to your mum and dad and be like, oh, why? Like friends of theirs?
It was actually more Game My Headpiece. And the
Right.
Blame Game too. Thank just anything with Tim Gary attached.
Yeah.
Tim, we have an unwritten rule now. He's just not letting it work unless I'm there with
Yeah,
him. Like,
yeah.
He does a radio show that I'm not in, and I'm not happy about it.
Right.
It's called The Long and the Short of It.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
Yeah.
why I'm in all your other things, like what's your problem?
Yeah.
But with the blame game, like I think it's great because it's been going on for so long, and the same panel has been on it for years and years and years. So I'm like, I feel so fucking privileged to have joined it. Like it's the only time they've ever changed the panel, like on a permanent basis. I hope so. Fuck, you never know what could happen. I might not be back again. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think my mum and dad, because they've watched that as well, and with Get My Headpiece, they watched it growing up. They're all biz that I'm Uncle Andy's daughter.
Yeah.
Like
that's like, it's funny how you could be cast in loads of different stuff, but actually something you've watched since you've grown up, and a character like everyone knows who Uncle Andy is.
Yeah.
But like, and like, so like to get that is like such a big deal, because you're like, I fucking love that show. Like I used to watch Give My Headpiece every Friday at my granny and granda's house, and I was like our thing. So you watch it at the same time, and I'm like cracking up because it's something on TV and I know where they're talking about in the jokes. I'm like, they're saying about places in Belfast, and I
would go there, but it's more than 0.5 miles from my house.
Yeah, exactly. No, but from Hollywood you can see over the loch.
Oh right,
so
okay.
we would look with telescopes at the Troubles and that kind of thing, you know.
They're having an awful time over there.
And then like years later, I was sending my granny, like years after I wasn't there every Friday night obviously, and I was like, remember we used to every Friday, didn't we love Give My Head? Wasn't that the best, granny? And my granny was like, it's how much my granny loved me. She was like, it was never really my cup of tea.
Aww.
And I was like, you betrayed me. I was like, Peggy, you watched that every Friday with me. And she laughed a lot. I'd be like, I'm such a bad guy for like, if something's funny on TV, I'm like, here, what about laughing all? Right? Do you love that? But yeah, she just particularly didn't enjoy it. But it meant enough to me that she was like,
she watched it for you.
But
that's cute.
Uncle Andy is such a phenomenal character, and then sometimes you see the guy, I don't even know his name, the guy who plays him,
Marty Reid.
You see him walking about Belfast and you're like, there he is. He's just like going about his daily business, and he's
like he works full time in Queen's.
He's a lecturer, right?
He does computer-y stuff.
Okay, right. I just can't, like, if I had an IT problem and you like had to go to him, I'm like, oh, my keypad's stuck and my mouse isn't working, I just imagine being like, you know, making some sort of joke.
And like his voice isn't his voice either. Like he obviously puts that voice on.
That breaks my heart.
But whenever, and he's got full grey hair. He wears a wig now, so they've had to make a wig now to match what his hair was like when it started 25 years ago.
Right.
Like he's not aged, but whenever I joined as Uncle Andy's daughter, I really wanted to have the tash and the hair. I was like, can we dress me as like an Uncle Andy, like an androgynous Uncle Andy?
Dan, write it down, name of the episode, androgynous Uncle Andy.
That's what I wanted, and they were like, no, she's a goth. And I was like, oh, I would have loved it if because my character doesn't know that she's Uncle Andy's daughter. Right. And I forget sometimes. I'd be all, do I know yet or not? And they're like, no, she doesn't know. I can't remember what happens in the show half the time. So I was like, oh, but I would love it if she just looked exactly like him but wasn't aware. Do you know what I mean? And was walking around just with a wee hairdo and a leather jacket and all that. They didn't go for it.
The Blame Game and Give My Headpiece, obviously like probably two of the biggest BBC Northern Ireland shows. Do you notice that the more stuff you're on and the more you're on screen, do you get more like, because like I've definitely had it with doing TV shows, you get like obviously a bit of stick for being in anything. Doesn't matter how good or bad it is. There are people who just don't like you being on screen. Yeah. Who like get personally offended when you're on a program. They're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Like it definitely comes with a bit of criticism. But did you notice it like more with a particular show, or did you notice a particular thing people were saying?
We did Dry Your Eyes recently, so it was like a reboot of the old sketch show Dry Your Eyes, and we just done one episode of pilot, and it got ripped to shit online. Like there was so much hate. Like I literally didn't see anything good about it online. It was lots of shit, and there was just people, like many people going, I'm fucking sick of her now. Why is she in this as well? Do you know, as if like I'm too overexposed. They were like, she needs to fuck off. Like, and people just feeling really strongly about that I should have less of a career. Yeah. She shouldn't be on.
Stop doing things.
Yeah, go home. I know. And even you just get like people who are just, she's not funny, and you're like, but I didn't write that.
Is there like sexist stuff, if you know what I mean? Is there like
on the Blame Game? there was a
Right.
whole thing on, not a whole thing, 2 people were tweeting about.
There was a saga about.
A man had tweeted me going, I'm really disappointed in you. Using the F word, like gratuitously on the blame game.
Finian?
Massive.
No, I mean, was that the word?
All right.
Imagine, do you think I finally lost it? I'm like, what a Finian to say that.
What a Finian thing to say. Yeah. He was fucking raging that I had said fuck about 6 times in a row. But you know what happened?
Sorry, just for balance, in a couple of seconds, say something, and I'll say the opposite, right?
What? Oh,
So there's 2 people tweeting.
I
This other guy, Hun.
I fucking didn't know where to go with that.
Thank God, we have to check that off.
Yes, but for balance.
So you literally said fuck.
What
and
happened is
someone's
I was trying
disappointed.
to read a quote that I had written down of somebody. I was all, and your mum was saying this, and I couldn't find the fucking page. It was the first episode, and I was really nervous, and I was all, fuck, what the fuck did he say? And it comes up on the, do you know, if you put the subtitles on, it's all fuck, what the fuck, on the bottom of the screen, and all, literally it's all fuck, what the fuck, and you know.
Right.
And this guy was all, I'm really disappointed in you for using, like, gratuitously using the F word and stuff. It was so unnecessary and it's very unladylike. And then Neil tweeted him going, see, to be honest, we all said fuck, and every single panelist has said fuck on that show. It's not that big a deal, it's just another word.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it's really unnecessary, and it made me turn the show off, and I no longer find it funny because she used the word fuck too many times. And then Colin and Tim and everyone was tweeting him going, you're literally just giving her shit because she's a girl. All of us said fuck within the same 10-15 seconds. Everyone cursed, but he aimed it at me. So there's definitely a wee bit of sexism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had people come over to me at gigs going, I normally don't find girls funny, but that was all right. And you're like, that's so fucking ridiculous that
Yeah.
you've decided all girls aren't funny.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah.
That's like going, I normally don't like food, but that Chinese
And
was
they
alright.
think that that's a compliment to
Aye.
you. You know what I mean?
Like, fuck
Or like
off.
you're one and
You've
people,
chosen
you
me
hear
to
this.
laugh at. Thank you.
Literally, like I remember being when I was first starting, being at a gig, and an MC who I swear to God I can't remember who it was said, I don't think this person does stand up anymore. Said, wasn't she brilliant? So funny for a girl. I was like, oh no, and now it was me who had been on, so that's why I was personally offended.
That's just as bad as someone bringing you on stage going, there's a wee boy here who's going to come on and do a couple of wee yarns, a wee joke, a wee you'll have a fun wee time.
He's going to do his best.
Yeah.
I did the Blame Game radio show once, and you know, before, and like I think that everyone know, like beforehand, obviously it's not scripted, but you go, here's a few topical things we might talk about, and you obviously go away and
go away
prepare
and
some
write
stuff.
notes.
Everyone who watches will understand that. Same with any topical
Yeah.
panel show. And I was to do a bit about Conor McGregor, right? So this is years ago. We did it in one of the QFT spaces.
Yeah.
And it's my first. I've never done a panel show. I'm like a bit nervous, but like I know everyone on it because I've done stand up with them, and it's a particularly like tough crowd. They're just not into it. For whatever reason, it was like a third full. So
Right.
it was just a bad night, and I'm like getting ready with I'm like, this is my like bit
Yeah.
towards the start of the show. So Tim's there, and like they couldn't create a bet. Like I've done a couple of panel shows, and they couldn't create a better atmosphere. It's always been like a great atmosphere of like, we're gonna tee you up for this thing.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Right, and they don't talk over you and that kind of thing. So I'm like getting ready for my thing, right? Bang! I've got like 5 jokes about Conor McGregor. Here we go. And Tim is doing a bit, and he's like blah blah blah. He goes, MMA fighters, you know, Irish fighters, and blah blah blah. And I'm like listening to Tim's bit like this, and then I'm aware then there's a silence, and Tim's like, yeah, you know, Conor McGregor's been in the news, and I'm like, I don't want to talk over Tim.
Oh,
And
he's teeing you up.
another 3 seconds goes past, and Tim goes, Shane, got anything on Conor McGregor?
Oh,
and I'm like,
fuck.
yes, Tim, I do.
Here is my joke.
But we made a joke of it, and then after that, I was like, oh, I'm not nervous anymore. But like, I with panel shows and things like that, like I found it hard to not like interrupt because there is a structure in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. So basically, with the blame game too, is like you have a you're leading one of the questions, who's to blame for, and you do like a 4 or 5 minute bit, and then people jump in. But it's really hard to know when to jump in, because you're like, are they done their bit? Also, you always have to go over to Tim as well and be like, what the fuck are you saying in your intro? Because I don't want that to be similar to what my bit is, and then you've done it, and then I start to do my bit, and then it's like, well, you've already done it.
Yeah.
Because that happens a lot.
And also, is it hard, like, if you've got because when you're doing stand-up, if you think of a punchline or a bit, you can just stop what you're saying and fire that bit in or change it. But on a show like that, I imagine if a subject's brought up and say Neil Delamere's in the middle of like a great monologue about something, and you have a zinger of a line, do you sit there and be like, right, I've got this, but then the moment passes and you're like, fuck, that would have been so good. I'd hate that. All
the time. And you're all, do you remember earlier on when you said about that bus in East Belfast? Wasn't that funny? Yeah. Here's what I've got to say about it. And you're like, and then you're hoping it'll be edited together.
Neil, so 4 weeks ago you said
whenever we were in Larne. But what I find interesting is that Colin and I always seem to write very similar stuff.
Right.
Like we come in and he'll be doing a bit and I'll be like, fuck's sake, I have to strike it off my page. I can't say it.
And is there like a hierarchy experience type thing where it's like, is there an element of like last in the doors, or like, you know?
I know what you mean. It's they're very good for like, there's always a shit question. It's because they do 4 questions. There's always one that nobody wants to do, right? Because it's like whatever dregs are left of the news stories of the week.
Yeah.
And they've been very kind to not make me do it every more time. Than, I've done like once or twice, but Neil and Colin could fucking make anything funny. Do you know what I mean? They really could. Neil knows more about northern politics than most people in the north. Do you know what I mean? So he can fire away and talk about anything. They've been very good to let me do my bit first, I think, at times, because I'm new and I'm usually sitting there shitting myself.
Yeah. Do you prefer? I probably like you did the podcast when it was like in Zoom times. Remember the Zoom era of humanity? And I don't know if I asked you then, but like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer live performing or do you prefer acting?
I think probably live performing. No, it's changed. I think the direction I'm going in has changed over the past year. I was always adamant that I wanted to be like I wanted to do like dramas. I was like, I want to be in fucking like, big dramas.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
silly things.
A lot of lines to learn. And I'm happy to just do comedy now. Like, not just do comedy, I'm happy to move in that direction. You can't beat live performing. You really can't. Like, unless it goes shit, then you really can.
What, like, have you been heckled much? I feel like heckling was way more of a thing before you started stand-up. I think heckling's becoming like, rowdiness in general is becoming like a bit later.
People have a bit more respectful.
Yeah,
I don't think I would do well with people heckling me.
You don't?
I think I'd be shit. But me and Kieran Bartlett did a gig for Dave and Pugs, like, is pre-pandemic as well. And Dave wasn't there. Kieran was, and was it me and Tom Mahoney?
Yeah.
And Dave was like, oh, it's sold out. I'm not there tonight, but it's sold out. And I was like, oh, happy days. And we went in, and it wasn't sold out. There was about 15 to 20 people there.
And it holds 6,000.
It holds 6,000. But they'd hired it out. They were the fucking PSNI. And that's why it was sold out. And that's why Dave had him fucking turn up. And
Dave cannot be around cops. I don't want to go into too much detail.
He's just
but they would have seen it in his eyes. You know what I mean? He was probably taking his hard drive to an IT show.
But they ignored us the whole time. They sat and ate their dinner and turned their back away. And Kieran Bartlett was such an angry man on stage.
That's not like Kieran. Kieran's normally a jolly fun guy.
He threatened to
Mate! Kieran and McGabry that night. Mate!
He was like, I will rip open your arseholes. Like, he was so annoyed at all of them. He was like, but you would try and cover it up anyway, you fucking pigs. Like,
the other night, he
so
told
angry.
somebody he was going to tarmac their man's back. Oh wow.
What an angry man.
Yeah, there's definitely a big difference between corporate type stuff, although some corporates can be really good. Like, honestly, that International Women's Day gig was fucking
That was
great.
good fun. I have my first gig in London next week.
Oh yeah?
I've never gigged in England.
You're going to play it different? I don't think you should.
No, I don't think so. I think I maybe have to just change some words.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know what a doot is.
A doot? You don't, I don't think doot travels.
I think I'll have to just find a new word for doot, because I do tend to say doot quite a bit.
Doot sounds like I guarantee you there's a tech startup company in London called Doot.
Doot.
Yeah.
Doot.com. Yeah, so I'm in
Like definitely when you watch a YouTube video, there's like an ad that comes up at the start. Wait, Doot. You know for sure there's Doot. What do they do?
Doot.co.uk.
What did Doot do?
Doot sell remotes.
What do you, like all in one remote?
Because
Doot.
Doot.
Yeah.
Doot.
Universal remotes.
That turns into a vibrator.
No,
for
they-
your Doot. Is that not genius?
I think they do.
And it's hygienic. Like it'll come out clean.
I think Doot sell remotes for your vape. Yeah.
What? So you don't even have to press. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hold a
I
remote.
don't think they're going to last as a company, but that's what they do.
They'll fold and they'll reopen as Doot.
Who's their celebrity ambassador? Kerry Katona.
No.
Peter Andre.
What do you call her?
The Queen.
Kenga from Big Brother. That shoved the wine bottle up her Doot.
Yeah, I remember Kinga.
Do you know what I was going to say, Laura, whenever you were doing the manscaping thing? There was a girl on Big Brother one time who used to tweeze her armpits. That's how she didn't shave. She tweezed every individual hair out of her armpit.
That must be someone who like is into like pain. That's weird.
Or just doesn't want to miss a hair.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure your growth would be, it would last longer if you tweezed it out. But imagine.
But if you do that stuff more, it grows back more and it comes back double. I heard. People say that. Don't be shaving in between your eyebrows because it grows back way more. I get a monobrow. Do you know that? A lot of people won't know that about me.
No.
It's bad at the minute. This is the worst it's ever been in a long time.
And do
Don't
you
look too
shave
closely at it. I pluck it.
You should wax it.
Here's why I wouldn't like to be mid-wax with the strip over it and then like a fire alarm goes off or something and I've got to be outside.
Yeah, but then you could do that. It's like a plaster.
But what if I forget and I'm like running about being like, where's the fire brigade? And they're like, why do you have a strip like the whole way up?
And you just live the rest of your life with just a
But
strip.
what if I wax it and then I do one over too much side and then I'm like, oh, let me even it out the other side.
It's
And then
easy
all of a
to
sudden
do.
I have no eyebrows.
I think you know, right, where your face is. And I think you're aware that here are the eyebrows and this is the part that should go. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Practice.
Would I get my own
practice
kit?
with a plaster.
Should I get my own waxing kit?
I mean, how are you with pain?
Oh, not good.
Well, then maybe don't wax because it is sore.
Although, what have I had? Have I had something waxed?
You're bound to have had a wee waxing. Well, you not doing that manscaping stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's not
shaving,
wax.
is it?
Well, people who go to Turkish barbers get like they'll wax you like without
Do men
your
wax
permission.
their doots?
What?
Do men wax their doots?
I think
Their man doot?
there might be a problem with the question there. Do men wax their doots?
Well, they're like the area in front of their dick
The area in front of their dick.
where their pubes live.
Do they wax it?
But is
Some
that a
guys
thing?
will. Absolutely, some guys will. Yeah. But I think
It's not common practice
no. No.
to have a shaved Mandoot or a waxed
Mandoot? Is he not one of the Avengers?
He sounds like the man that started up the company. Some Indian man called Mandoot.
Mandoot and Uncle Andy does his IT support. I'm leaving Queens. Where are you away to? Mandoot.
Mandoot's a fucking great name.
Mandoot is a great name.
Yeah.
You were out last night,
I was.
and I don't mean to sound like accusing, but I know you were out because someone you put up a Instagram story about doing the podcast today.
Yeah.
I could tell. I was like, she's out. I could just tell.
Because I tweeted saying I was out.
Yeah. Tweeted saying you were doing
What gave it away? Was it the glass of wine in the bar I was in?
The ice.
Right.
And some random person Instagrammed me and went, I think Deona is in the courthouse bar in Lurgan. Is that where you were?
Yeah.
There we go. I've got little
But
birds
you know what's
everywhere.
fucking weird about that?
What?
Nobody else was in that bar except for the staff. And
You
the
were out. Do you have a problem? There was no
And
one
the
else drinking in the bar.
And the person I was with, me and my friend Susanna, who we were both out drinking in that bar. But here, it was so weird because anytime she would leave to go to the toilet, there was no staff on. Like there was a guy working there, but he would like head on in between rounds. We were the only people drinking in that bar.
Right.
So when she left to go to the toilet, it would be just me in the building.
Get you.
There's nobody behind the bar, nobody else drinking, and I would just be sat there going, I'm probably about to get murdered.
Yeah.
This is the start of something.
Yeah.
But it was great. I had a
What's
great
the
night.
nightlife like in Lurgan?
Very quiet. Thursday night does not happen on a Thursday night. And I came in and there was nobody, and I said, "Oh, is there any live music on the night?" And they were like, "Take a look around, mate, and no one's here."
Do you know what I would have done in that situation? Oh, can I connect my phone up to something? We plug in, and then you could have been in a bar with your own music playing. I'd have put my own podcast on.
That's like your house. You may as well just be in your own house.
You can do that in
you
your
can
house.
do that in your house too, can't you?
Forgot.
Yeah, just Alexa, play whatever it is.
The Courthouse Bar in Lurgan, your husband booked me for a gig there. We're talking 12 years ago.
Awful, is it?
It was then it was not going well. Like nobody was having a good set. I went up and I was like, I'm gonna try and like get them, and nobody was listening. That's a problem. It wasn't that they weren't enjoying it. They just were a bit like you're saying about that private gig in Pogues. They're just talking amongst themselves. No one's listening. Plus, it's not a function room. It's the main bar. So people are like, well, I came out for a pint with my mate. I'm not fucking listening to you. So I go up. I'm like probably like 19 or 20. I'm like, I'm going to get them. And I go up on
just
stage.
You wait and see.
I go up and someone's like, is there a Zumba class starting? What's this woman doing? But I go up, get the microphone, and I'm like, I'm doing my jokes. And after about 1 or 2 minutes, I notice everyone's a bit quieter. And they're looking at me. And I was like, well, fucking, they're not laughing. But I've got their attention. All these men, like, literally set their pints down. They're, like, nudging each other, like, pointing at me. And I was like, fuck, I'm getting through to them. They're listening. I've turned the crowd around.
Yeah.
What happened was the barman had put on Match of the Day on the big screen behind me, but muted it. So everyone's just watching the highlights. So, like, you know, Man United, Aston Villa, like, looking up at that, being like, some shot and all. And I think they're like, fuck, they love this. They love what I'm doing.
Everything.
And then I just turned around and started watching it.
Come here, that would be a great quote for, like, your poster for a gig. It'd be like, they weren't laughing, but I got their attention.
They were looking.
They were watching.
Yeah. When I took out my Mandoot.
They were looking in my direction for the duration.
What else do you think you're not going to be able to say in London?
Brett's out.
Yeah. Yeah, unless they think it's part of the Free Britney movement, in which case they're like, yes, sister.
Get Brett out, yeah. I think I'll have to hold back on that.
People always like, other stand-ups crowd your head with stuff. If you're like, I'm going to London, any tips would be like, don't speak in your own accent, slow down, do like wear a red jumper. They'll be like, there's too much information. Yeah, just too specific information.
Yeah.
But you definitely like,
do you know what? I'm gonna have to go through my set and just and go, what in that is too localized. Do you know what I mean? I probably can't talk about Frank Mitchell. Not that
Frank.
I do.
They'll
I don't
know
talk
Frank.
about him. Well, they know Frank.
They'll know Frank.
How else do they get their weather information?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did a gig away, and I was like, doing gigs in America. I was like, I'm not going to change like my voice. Like, I'm not going to slow down. I'm just going to do, because I've been doing it like this for so long. I don't want to do it different. And did this gig in New York, and it was lovely. It was really good. And after this woman came up, like older sort of woman came up, and she was like, she was American. She was like, I just want to say I loved that. That was so good. And I said, oh, thanks very much. And she went, a bit like getting the compliment of like, I didn't think girls could be funny.
Yeah.
She came up to me and said, she goes, that was really good. I loved that. She goes, I'll be honest, me and my friend, we didn't understand really anything that you were saying. But she said, but I understood it would be funny. I was like, well,
that's lovely.
Fuck you. And she was like, and you too. She's like,
yeah.
You have a good night too. I didn't say that.
I don't think you can, like, slow down. I couldn't slow down when I'm talking. I'm probably going to have to slow down a wee bit in London, because they definitely won't understand.
You do speak very fast.
Do you know what? Jamie Lee O'Donnell and I recently were shooting a thing for Channel 4 in Derry.
Right.
And we just had a sit and chat. And holy shit, when two Derry people are in the same room together, you go 90 fucking miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the director was from Dublin, and I was having to step on and go, here, girls, fucking nobody knows what yous are saying.
Yeah.
And me and her both were like, we have intentionally slowed down.
Right.
And they were like, no, yous are like,
right.
And even like if I come off the phone, like I'll go on to Sean, and if I'm talking really fast, I'll be like, are you on the phone to your ma? Because you just start getting far faster.
But you can get way more information, and it's like, I listen to voice notes now on 2-speed.
Do you? Can
That's
you
like
do
speaking
that?
to someone from Derry. Oh yeah, that will change your life. Here's the thing, I hate voice notes.
See, I live for them.
Really?
They're my
hate
podcasts.
it. Right, I hate it, but now you go double speed.
Right.
All the information in, save twice the time.
I sent you a voice note the other day.
And I tried to listen to it in 2-speed, and it was just yeah.
Like, is she dead?
I don't know about a voice note now.
See,
I hate a phone call.
Well, that's why it's a compromise from a phone call, because
That's true.
like my brother's one of the people that you text and he phones you and you're like, how dare you?
You've established you only want to text.
This is the form of communication. Don't fucking ring me, you creep.
Why's your brother 73?
No.
I'll just give you a ring.
No, we've established he's only
2 years older than you.
Yeah, he'll phone. And also what he does is he phones sometimes just to say hi. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
So weird.
Who likes people that much that you want to just say hi?
Just checking in?
Just checking in. This is a man with a very busy job and 3 children and a dog. And he'll ring me and be all, how are you? And I'll be like, how do you have time to give a shit?
Yeah.
Like,
I hate the just don't
nice
ring me
people.
just to see how I like the sentiment,
yeah.
but like make something up,
Yeah.
you know?
Accuse me of something.
Yeah.
Did you knock down my dog? Like, just start I
don't know.
But
What was the thing you were filming in Derry? Are you allowed to say?
it's a documentary about Derry
Oh, nice.
to coincide with the release of the next series of Derry Girls.
Class.
That I'm not in or anything, but
Neither am I. Audition, didn't get it.
did you? Because I heard you saying you auditioned before, but did you actually audition? Do you do many auditions?
Yes.
Do you?
And I don't get
You don't get any of
part.
them. What's
I auditioned for a sci-fi thing called Krypton 98 times.
do you mean like? Is that not? Yeah. The Superman thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they not have just said, you're not for us? I kept going in.
Were
and
they
I'd
bringing you
fucking
in for male parts or female parts?
both. I would learn 10 pages a line. So I'm like, in my head all day, I'm like, someone's like, how are you? I'm like, I can't speak. I was like, I have to go to the faraway planet of Chibachaba. You know, all that shit. That's probably why I didn't get it. I was doing that voice. But I kept going in. They were like, they love you. It's going to be the right part. Don't worry, we're going to find it. It was never found. And then they cancelled the series. I was like, I'd fund the new series of this to be made just to spite them to get me into
The
it.
exact same thing got me with Krypton. I kept going, Curtis Strong casting, it kept going back in, and they were actually bringing me in for men parts too.
Right.
Soldiers that were meant to be men,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "You're tall, like come on in," and I was like, "This is meant to be a guy," and they were like, "We're gonna just chance our arms." I was like, "No wonder I'm not getting these fucking parts. I don't have a Mandoot."
Yeah. That's one of the planets in Krypton.
Yeah. But I remember auditioning for Doctors, do you know the TV show Doctors? But I had to learn the whole episode.
No.
It was like 28 pages of script, and I was like, "This
I'm
is
so bad at learning.
ridiculous." Like, and I was like, "Surely you can tell 3 or 4 pages in if you're gonna have me, like if you want me or not." Had to fly over and do the whole episode
Nah, I hate that. Off book?
off book.
Well, that's the thing. The first time I auditioned for Derry Girls, I've told this story. They said, we want you off book, and I'd never auditioned for anything in my life. And I went, oh, happy days. Off book? I can read off the book. So I show up, and they're like, okay, here we go. And I'm like, yep, dead on, mate. And then do it like this. And they, at Chorus Wrong, they were like the fucking soundest people in the world. They were like, we have a busy day, but go away and learn this, and we can fit you in somewhere later on and come back, which they absolutely didn't have to do.
Yeah.
Went away, like, learned it, but like, I don't have the tech. I'm sure there's a technique for learn. Everyone has a different technique. I haven't figured mine, so I struggled to learn lines. And so I did, but I auditioned in for the recent series of Derry Girls.
Right.
And like, I don't know. I don't know whether it's. I don't know if I can get comfortable just doing a bit to camera with no audience there. I think I'm still working that out. Yeah. But I thought the audition was. I thought it was okay. I did a Derry accent, which I thought was decent.
What is your Derry accent like?
I was like.
It's hard to do.
I was like, oh, what's the crack with yous? I'm from Derry.
Via Monaghan.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do it. Obviously, that's an embarrassment. I couldn't do it in front of you now.
Some auditions are so wanky, and they're usually for theatre ones that are so wanky.
Right.
Like, I remember doing an audition one time, right? And the director, so did the audition, and then the director was like, she was like, so let's do it again. But this time, after every sentence, you're going to have a different childhood memory pop into your head, and you're going to be able to smell it. And that was the direction. And I literally was all, hello, Mum. I'm walking down the road, and I can't wait. I can't wait to. And I had to just go through all of it. And I was like, what is this achieving? And I was like, I'd rather be a bag of sand today than do this. Like, it was fucking wanky. And I auditioned for the same director another time, and she made me redo it. And this time, you really fancy him. And it was like the guy, this like wee camp man. who was like the theatre.
I'm waiting to do my audition.
You know.
Hurry up.
Yeah, this wee camp man who like he's like the theatre programmer, and she was like, "You really fancy him?" And I was like, "But the monologue, the bit that I'm doing is about she wants to go on a diet, she can't stop eating burgers, whatever." And she was like, "Yeah, but do it sexy." And I was like, "I have not got that capacity to do that." And I was like on the table climbing all over this wee gay man, all, want to stop eating burgers? And I was like, it was the worst. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I genuinely after him going, I think they were just bored that day.
Yeah,
and we're like,
yeah.
let's just make her let dance monkey fucking dance.
Yeah.
Some of them are so wanky.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. The Derry Girls audition was one I actually enjoyed doing, and I was like, I think, even though I didn't get it, I was like, I think this is a good audition tape. But I also asked Jimmy Lee, when she was here doing the podcast, I was like, listen, I was like, I did this audition and I think it went quite well, but it was a couple of weeks ago and I haven't heard anything. But like, have you heard anything? Like, could you find out? And she's like, I don't think you've got it. And I was like, oh shit, what makes you think that? Just the vibe you're getting? She's like, we filmed that scene. A different actor has done that scene.
Yeah. I used to find out I didn't get parts as well when things were on TV.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there they are. There you are.
Yeah.
And like, I have a sick fascination with finding out who got the parts I didn't get.
Right.
I need to get on. I'm on Google. Like, I'll have auditioned for something like 2 years ago and it'll pop in my head and I'll be, oh, remember that fucking audition? And I go look it up and find out who got it. And then I'd be like, that's all right. They're very different to me. That's why I didn't get it, because I don't look androgynous.
The parts I don't get, Tilda Swinton mainly gets them.
Yes. Well, that's perfect. But then that means, because she's very like you, that you just weren't good enough.
Yeah. Well, not as good as Tilda Swinton.
Do you have any ambition to do dramatic acting?
Yeah, but then, and like, yes, I would like to. I think I could be good at it, but I would need to like kind of be taught it or get experience in it. But not that long ago, I got the chance to audition for something like massive. Like, it would have been unreal.
Can you say what it is?
Mike, do you remember what it was?
Tom and Jerry?
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons. Right?
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, so the part is I'm talking myself out of anything else in the future, right? The part is I'm playing like a soldier type fantasy. I don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. I'm playing like a fantasy fucking sci-fi boy guy, and all I had to do is like say a line, like something like get away from the bridge, for talk's sake, and then I have to swing a hammer and break a rock, right? But I think like my acting and stuff we do, like sketches or anything, I can keep it like quite natural, like quite low key. But when it comes to like a grand thing, like a big production, I take my like, because I think I'm like, I try and take my intensity up, but I should just do what I normally do. So the line is something like get off the bridge, and then there's I'm supposed to swing an axe and break a rock, but I try and be like, I don't know. So I look at the camera, he's filming, we did it in here, and I'm like, get off the bridge. I'm like, leave it up here and really try and flex my triceps. And I'm like, I'm always like, I always look like it's raining, and I've just done my hair. I'm like, fuck. And then I swing the axe, and I'm like, I'm always out of breath too when I do it. Like, even in my Derry Girls audition, I was probably like, what's a crack, hey?
But then that's interesting, because it's like he's just been on a run, or he's just been cycling. Like, you've created a backstory with that breath. So you didn't get that part? No.
Well, I don't know. Fingers crossed the film's finished, but you never know.
Well,
no, I don't think
you do know. Was it just for one line?
Yeah.
Fair play to you for doing that.
But then here's how I've rationalized all this stuff, right? Just to make myself feel good about not getting anything I auditioned for. I got 2 things I've ever auditioned for, right? And one of them Dave made, so that's probably because he's my best mate, he gave me it. But I think part of it is, this isn't what it is, but I tell myself this.
Right.
This is so embarrassing. I think the casting agents look at me in the thing and go, people just know him, like as Mike McGoldrick and all, you know. We can't put him in Dungeons and Dragons, the major worldwide motion picture.
Yeah, because in Bolivia, they'll know.
In the cinemas in Pakistan, they're going to look at him and go, flip's sake, there's Keith Cruise.
That's it. Also, the fact that you called him a casting agent is probably why they're not booking you.
Casting director.
Yeah, they hate being called casting agents.
Shit. I always show up and say,
yeah.
hello, casting agent.
Hello
casting agent. Hello, casting agent.
Well, I went to a casting director before, did the audition, and was leaving the room, So sometimes you go on and the casting director isn't there and it's their assistant, and this is pre-fucking self-tape era, and they would, like, the assistant would film it for you and the casting director wouldn't be in the room, but they'd watch the video afterwards.
Yeah.
So I assumed this was the casting director's assistant, and as I was leaving I was all, thanks very much for doing it there, what's your name again? And then she said her name and I was all, yeah, you're the fucking, you're the big
It's your
dog.
company.
You own this shit. And then I was like leaving going, well, I'm not gonna fucking get that part, am I? And I didn't.
Yeah. I just have an intensity for auditions that I don't need. And also, if anyone doesn't know, like at the start of an audition, you give your name, who you're represented by, and a lot of times your height. But I always in that try and like almost like perform a bit instead of just saying it. I'm like making a joke. Oh, can I just say I did one recently and I probably didn't get it for my acting, but also I didn't get it because I did the shittest, like, unnecessary dad banter of all time. It was a comedy role. Get ready for this, right? I was like, Shane Todd, WME. And again, like, I'm doing it in that. I should just be like Shane Todd, represented by WME. I'm like, Shane Todd, WME. And I gave my height and I said 5'11", but 6 foot with a quiff. Oh, that's so bad.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I was like, they'll find that fucking hilarious.
5'11",
6 foot with a quiff.
No, I think that's good. So it's just to show you a bit of personality. But I would. Can you cry on demand?
Let's try. Give me a scenario.
You're fucking shit at comedy. Trying to make you cry?
No, give me a scenario.
Oh, you're at a gig and you're shit at comedy. So, think about your child. Something awful has happened. He becomes a stand-up comedian.
And then I'm worried he's going to start taking
gigs your
off
gigs
me.
from me. You've established that he's massive already, so he's probably near gigging age.
Right, ready? Okay, I've got it.
No, you can't cry on demand.
Ah.
Your face looks upset though, but you more look like you've just done a massive shit and you're exhausted from it. That's more that you could play someone who has bad eyesight. Do you know me? You're just like a wee bit like. Do you know what I've always wanted to play a character of somebody who toxic? They're always about to yawn.
Right.
And I've tried to do it.
That's a fucking great skill.
Yeah.
I don't even think. I can't do that.
It's like she's always kind of just on the brink of yawning.
You talk for an hour and a half movie, you talk like that the whole way through.
Well, I've tried to do it in some auditions, like for comedy things, but I'll be all, here, what do you hear this?
Yeah.
I'll be like, would she have a voice like this? And they're like, fuck?
I'm waiting for them to go, we need a guy who can do a voice inside his mouth. And I'll be like,
See you, Todd. I get along. I can stick with this.
Oh
you can
my
hear this
God.
shit. Yeah. Maybe I should have done that.
It's like
at
there's somebody
Krypton thing and be
trapped
like,
inside.
pretend I'm a wee alien guy who has another wee alien guy in his mouth.
Yes. That would be amazing.
I don't know. What have you got coming up? What's happening?
I'm filming for a thing called Nova Jones that Dave's actually in as well.
Yeah.
For BBC.
Exclusive?
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but it doesn't matter.
You've said it.
I'm playing a horse. I have a full horse prosthetics.
For your audition, did you have to go?
Yep, I did.
Actually,
I'm a human horse.
right.
So I'm a stylist called Clothes Horse. Fuck, I don't think I'm supposed to say any of this anyway. And
wait till Deadline get a hold of this. Vulture.
Yeah, I'm fucked. And then I've also got my show Bridesmaids that's on sale at the minute in the Opera House. That's later in the year though. But if anyone's listening, buy tickets for that.
Yep.
And it's on regional tour at your local theatre. So Bridesmaid and then this Nova Jones thing. But I have never had to put prosthetics on before, so I'm going to have a full... You'll not know it's me.
Yeah.
Which is sort of shit for my ego.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I did... Isn't that CBBC?
Yep.
I did it... You know about my CB... I did a thing called Danny's Castle years ago. And I had to wear white makeup. I was a goth, essentially, in it. But it was just when I was, like... figuring out I had a Crohn's disease, so I didn't know what it was. So I was like, I lost like 3 stone, and I did this role, and it was like $1,000 for 4 days filming. So I genuinely, my rationale was like, I'll go to A&E on the last day of filming. I literally, like, I knew there was something really badly wrong. You were so sick the whole time? Yeah, but it suited the cat. People were looking at me being like, how the fuck has he sunk his cheekbones on demand? I was like, no, I'm actually dying.
Oh my God.
But the last day of filming
He's going full Auschwitz this week.
the last day of filming was the Thursday, and I went straight from set. Like, there was an after party. I was like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to A&E at the Ulster instead. And yeah, I just went straight to hospital after.
Shit in hell. I broke my toe on stage in the first 10 minutes of a play and did the 2-hour play. And then had to do it for like 6 more weeks every night with a broken toe. You can do fuck all for a broken toe, like. So
Yeah.
I was inside a sleeping bag, standing up and shuffling comedically across the stage inside this, and then I fell over and had to make it part of the thing. I was I was meant to fall there, fucking drag myself into the
It
wings.
probably didn't sound like you were meant to fall when you said I was meant to fall there.
I know, but I so it's the worst.
Final question: what would your dream thing to be in? Either something that exists or like a thing you would like to create.
Well, my favourite show was The American Office. Fucking absolutely. Do you not like it?
No.
Why? It's my favourite show. I've watched the whole series. I've watched all 9 seasons 11 times.
I don't think they're looking for my opinion on it, but too many characters.
Too many characters.
And also, I couldn't get over the fact the first episode is a exact remake, because it was a pilot. It's exact remake of the first episode of the UK Office,
Yes.
which is one of my favourites of all time. And I couldn't judge the American Office
Yeah.
without bias of seeing that, because I was like, oh fuck, I don't like this. And I was then watching a couple episodes of it, but in the back of my brain, the back lobe
Yeah.
was like, you don't like this. And
So,
then my front lobe
we
was like,
watch
give
it.
it a chance, and my back lobe goes, no, the master doesn't like this. And my front lobe's like, please, and my back
little
lobe's like,
guy
shut the
inside
fuck
you,
up. Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
That's so weird.
Isn't that weird?
I love it. I think it's amazing, but you have to give it a go because it comes onto its own after like 2, and I hate that because
After 2 seasons?
well,
How much time do you think I have in my hands?
Schitt's Creek. I hated Schitt's Creek.
I liked it.
I didn't.
But not enough to watch more than 6 episodes.
I watched all fucking 6 seasons of it going, it's gonna come through
That's
for me.
weird to me.
I know.
Here's the thing. I love Ricky Gervais. I love Afterlife. I haven't finished the last episode. I'm halfway through it.
Why?
Something else like came up, and I just
what's happening there is you're afraid to say goodbye because you know it's the last one.
oh my god, maybe it is. Do you want to see me crying to man?
It's really you're afraid to say goodbye to that show. That's a show you cannot watch with a dry eye.
I know.
You will cry watching that show.
Well, I can.
I would you can, yeah, because you're dead
Because of my
inside.
skills. Yeah.
I would love to be in the American Office, and if I was I'd love to write and star in my own fucking Netflix show. Of course I would, or you know what I mean. Everybody would. What about you? I also wanted to be the first female here to do the SSE in 5 years, whatever it was. And sure, fucking there's Joanne McNally now doing it. Fair
Yeah,
play
but
to her,
she's
like.
from down south. Let's bring politics into it.
But then it's getting narrower. Then I'm like, the first female from the north over 30. Like it's gonna get.
Well,
very...
you'd be the first Northern Irish female. You could be the first British comedian to.
Yeah.
You could say that, and you sell it like that. You go back to Derry and go, I'm gonna be the first
Brits in.
British woman to do
Yeah.
this. I fucking love it.
Let's go.
No, if you did it, you would. That would be you would. That's a valid claim.
But it's just more specific than the first girl. That would have been better.
I'm the first young male comedian from here with great hair to do it.
Right. I suppose.
Yeah.
The other ones are bald, aren't
Yeah. I'm the first follically
They're all-
blessed guy to do it.
they? Yeah, they're all bald. That's mad, actually.
Yeah.
Everyone is. It's like maybe you'll get.
Well,
bald
they told
now
me
for
I
doing
had
it.
to do it to do the SSE.
You had to shave,
SSE said you gotta bick the head.
manscape your Mandoot and shave your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to be in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Pardon?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, you want to be? You would.
I want to be in that.
Yeah.
I
Good
love it.
shout.
I think I'd be good in that.
Would you ever want to do a show like do you like pranks? Because I always think that's every time there's a fucking round of BBC thing, people are like, oh, we should pitch like a prank. Look, you're out in
Hidden
the
camera
street
show.
being funny. Yeah.
Here's the thing about hidden camera shows. I love them, and I love watching Practical Jokers and things like that. You couldn't do it locally because you would get your fuck knocked in.
Hi.
You go up to some guy, all right, mate, there's a snake in your back. I'm putting a snake in your back. Guy's like, are you, dickhead?
Yeah.
Fucking kills you in the first episode.
And then plus everyone be like, you're sure you're Keith Cruz?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no, I just work in this bakery.
I know, yeah. It's like within Practical Jokers now, and you're like, no, everyone knows.
Yeah.
Like they're like, he's not pretending to be a waiter serving you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we know who he is now. Wise
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
But yeah, I like stuff like that, but I don't know if Don't know if I want to do it. I find prank. I don't know what it is. With age, I find prank shows harder to watch. I don't like
Cringy?
seeing people not cringy, but like
Oh, you feel bad on the victim?
yeah, like You've Been Framed was some mad shit, but it made people think aliens had landed in their garden or a guy's van had gone off a cliff. And at the time, I was hilarious. I was like, "Yes, Beetle, you fucking one-handed bandit." But now I'm.
Do you know what's happened to you? You've become a parent.
Yeah.
And it's made you soft. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Because now you even like.
I'm soft until I have a hammer, and people need to get across the bridge. I
Yeah.
couldn't even lift the invisible hammer.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, Bridesmaid. We'll put a, you send me a link for that. I'll send it to Dan. We'll put it in the description on YouTube.
Brilliant. That's great. 8 shows in the Opera House and about 15 other shows around. And then, well, I can't really. Oh, I can't. No, I can't.
Just say it.
I can't.
And this won't come out for a couple of weeks. You probably can.
No, I can't. It's for next year.
Is it a show with that show? A different show?
Bridesmaids is being rewritten for an English audience and turn England next year.
Is that what it is? Is that what you couldn't say?
Yeah, but it's not. I shouldn't say that. I've said it.
You said it
Well, anyway.
over in England.
Yeah, but is there any English people watching us?
Oh wow, we get them from all over.
From all
There'll be a
over?
fella literally watching this in Timbuktu. I'm not joking.
I'll find out where that is on my map when I go home.
Yeah, you think
Shout
that's
out.
down south?
Yeah.
You're right, it's an awfully, isn't it? Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. The way you put your shoe forward, I was like, have you got a brand collab with some shoe manufacturer? Like, also, just let me point out,
Whilst I'm here.
Adidas. Yeah, thank you very much, Diona, for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the tea.
You're welcome.